For the past year or so, I have been using a hybrid stuffing method of cash and digital, but recently I have decided to go full digital stuffing. My reasoning is everything from going to the bank, the safety issues with carrying cash, or just the ease of using a debit card. But let me quickly put a but in there, because I do think that cash stuffing is awesome. It can help create a connection between you and your money. Using cash to pay for things can really give you a sense of the value of a dollar. It can help you stick to a budget and manage your finances better. It can also help you save money, and you are less likely to touch money that you have set aside in envelopes. And over time, it can help you build a proper relationship with your finances. And for me personally, I feel like I'm at that proper relationship with my finances. I can look at my bank account and realize that every penny in there has a place already, and to not spend anything beyond the budgets that I have created. So it's time for me to simplify my setup by going to full digital stuffing. And again, there is nothing wrong with the cash method or a hybrid method, but I am now full digital, even with my savings challenges. And if you'd like to see a full breakdown of my setup and how it works, then keep watching. But before we get into the video, let me take a quick second to say, if you're new here, hi, I'm April and welcome to the NeighBEEhood. Here on this channel, I do play along savings challenges, budgeting gadget reviews, and as you'll see in today's video, digital stuffing. The bread and butter of making digital stuffing simple is to have more than one bank account. I thought these images would help make it easier to understand what I'm doing exactly. So I have account 1. This is my main bank account. This is where my pay goes in and my living expenses and credit debt goes out. So every payday, or every month, because I am paid monthly, I start with a $0 balance, and every payday I assign every penny to a place. Because of this, this account also holds a small buffer in case something pops up that I forgot about, or some subscription I forgot to cancel, or whatever. But this is account 1. Account 2 is my savings account, which is essentially my binder. It's your envelopes. They're just not here, they're here. And I will show you how to track that later in the video. So every penny in this account has already been assigned to a category or an envelope. So this is everything from my savings to my 6-month insurance premium. It's all tracked here, just as cash stuffing method uses, you guessed it, your binder. It helps to have these two accounts at the same bank, and that bank offers an app so you can easily transfer between the two accounts. And the final piece of the pie is my reloadable prepaid debit card. This is for my shopping, my groceries, my gas, any budgets that I set, any essentials. It is the thing that I use the most instead of cash. And it's all the things that I would use my cash for, except it's on a reloadable debit. There are several types of these, all with various fees and terms associated with them, but I was so happy to know that my bank offered these, and your bank may offer the same thing. Just make sure what you're looking for is a reloadable prepaid debit card. So let's take a peek at my bank's website so that you can see what I'm talking about. So here it shows the differences between a regular debit and the prepaid version. There are no fees if you use it 7 times a month, and you can easily reload it from your bank account using the bank app. And the reason that I feel it is the most valuable part of the digital stuffing is that you set a budget on that card. You don't have to check the paperwork for a balance. It's all right there on the app. And when it's gone, it's gone. So when I say my budget for gas and groceries is $600, and I load $600 on here for the month, I not only have the ease of using the debit for those things, but I've created a budget that I can't go over. You cannot get any more direct and simplistic than that. It's like a functioning cash envelope. Okay, so those are the important financial things that I put into place to start digital stuffing. Now let's talk about the gadgets. All right, so I have the basics: a cute pen, a calculator, some markers for my savings challenge. Yeah, I know this is excessive, but I like to color. A folder to hold all my paperwork in, and my savings challenge envelope. All right, so let's talk about these. The downloads that I'm using are my budget packet. You can just as easily use pen and paper or an annotation app on your phone or tablet and go full electronic, but I need for things to be cute and organized to hold my attention. So this is the same packet that you see me use in the hybrid method I was using. Here is a link to that video, but I created a new cat theme for it. So every month I print this packet out, and once I've completed it all, I paper clip them together and store them in this envelope. You could also easily print out a packet every payday, use a 3-ring hole puncher, and keep them in a binder. So for my savings challenges, since it's fall, I went with these 2 savings challenges. I picked a small amount of things that I not only liked, but I felt that I could complete in a relatively reasonable amount of time. So I've got my scratch off packet for October, and then I wanted to do the Save 5 journey. I know this one's going to take me some time, but I will keep it in the loop when I switch out this other stuff that I finish. And of course, I also save with my Saving in the NeighBEEhood game that I play here on this channel. So those are my savings challenges. And now that we have our players, let me show you how this works for me. I take my packet and I start with my monthly overview. I am paid once a month, so I have to create a budget where every penny of that is accounted for, and this helps give me that overview. For example, if you were paid bi-weekly or weekly, it would help you to see your paydays written there, and then your bills due in between those paydays. So the easiest rule of thumb that I can give you, regardless of how often you are paid, is to make sure that the bills in between your paydays are taken care of. It's the easiest way to get you on track. Okay, again, so I'm monthly and I get paid on the 1st. Let me go ahead and fill this out real quick. All right, here it is all filled out. You will notice that I only use whole numbers because I round my income down and any expenses up. And what that does is it will start to create a small little buffer over time. All right, so I have all of my living expenses and credit debt on here, and that's all I track on this calendar. I'm not going to overwhelm myself right now with the tracker or the to-do things, but once I'm on track and my brain can comprehend everything, I will definitely add more things to that. I don't have anything pressing or appointments in September, so this is all I've got. All right, well, let's move on to page 2. All right, so this is my income and expenses sheet, and this is where I really get an idea of where my money is going, how to create some budgets and limitations for myself. So I'm gonna go ahead and tilt this sideways because I'm a lefty, and I'm going to use my calendar to fill this out. So I've got my income, and then I write the total here. And yes, you are seeing that right, $24.28 for the month. That is our income, and we have managed to live quite well off of it. We've learned to live below our means. It was not easy getting here, but anytime we had any extra money from selling something or doing a little extra hustling on the side or our tax return, we always threw it on our debt to get rid of that. So that's where we are. And then I have my car payment, and that is my only credit debt, consumer debt, whatever you want to call it at the moment, is my car. And I will actually have that paid off in October. So I only have one more payment to go after this. Again, that was not an easy thing to do, but we managed to do it, and we're almost done with this payment. I can't believe it. I can't believe I'm going to own my car soon. And if you're looking at this and you're thinking, wow, you know, I might even need another sheet. You know what? I've been there. A couple years ago, I would have had this filled out plus another sheet. It takes time. So don't think that you're going to have everything solved overnight, because you're not. And you're going to take steps back and you're going to take steps forward. But you can get there, I promise. All right, let me go ahead and add all my living expenses over from the calendar. All right, and there are my living expenses. Has anyone else's electric bill gone way up over the last 2 months? My electric bill has always been like $200 to $250 max. I mean, like, and that's pushing it. I mean, usually it's $200, and then my husband's garage hasn't really gone over $60, but lately everything's been like doubled. So I'm trying to allocate a lot more for this because I'd rather have money left over than to not have enough. So let me go ahead and add up this total, and our total living expenses are $12.39. All right, moving on to the essentials area. This is my reloadable debit card that we talked about. I put gas, groceries, and cat food on here, and if I use it for anything beyond that, then I will be eating some peanut butter and jelly. I am not even going to lie. Lately, I am having trouble with takeout. I am fatigued, and standing over a hot stove just isn't appealing by dinner time. So I'm really going to try and have takeout only once this month and focus on easier meals and crock pot meals. Wish me luck, guys. All right, so there's my groceries, gas, and my cats, and that is $600 total. So what I do here is add my total income, 24.28, and then I deduct my total expenses. So we deduct our $259 and our $12.39 and our $600, and that leaves us with $330. I mean, I guess I could, in this one I'm technically supposed to add these up because I know that helps some people when they put it there, but I always forget to do it. All right, so 2098. So let me double check. 28. Yep, 330. Okay. So what I have left over is actually my balance for my envelopes, aka my savings account. So now we take that 330 and we put balance from expenses, previous balance month. I actually do have a balance in my savings. I had to decimate it recently for some emergencies, but I still have $370.18. I'm going to add that 370. And that gives me 700 on the dot for my new envelope balance. I'm going to create my savings envelope categories. I took the time and I researched and I thought about what we spend our money on yearly, bi-yearly. You know, you've got things like dental insurance and then those sneaky things you don't think about, maintenance for your vehicle or my Nintendo membership and things like that. So let me go ahead and fill this in. All right, so here it is all filled out. So if you're using cash, you can write, you know, pink binder or high priority binder or my yellow binder or whatever. But since I'm using digital, I still want to have a high priority and a low priority area. So I went ahead and put all of the amounts that I need to put in here and the total in each binder. And my total does equal my 700. So next month when I have my new thing, I will pull this out and I will put my ending balances here as my start balance. So how I get these amounts is I take each full amount due and divide it by how many paydays before it's due. So for example, let's take an easy one like my Nintendo Switch membership. It's about $22 a year with tax and stuff. I am paid monthly. So you say $22, right? I am paid monthly, so that's 12 paydays. So divided by 12 is $1.83 a month or $2. I rounded up. So if you were paid weekly, you would divide that 22 by about 52 weeks. So you would only need to put about 43 cents, 50 cents each week that you would need for every payday to have it ready by the time it's due. When you have a larger bill that requires a larger payment, it definitely helps to break it up through every payday. So again, just take the full amount due and divide it by how many paydays you have until it's due. I hope that helps make sense of my process. Obviously, there's 500 ways to do this. I'm just sharing what works for me. So this is my overview of my savings and envelopes and where every penny is. This page is important to me next month so I can track those start balances and ending balances. To me, this is the most simplistic method. I just check my balances here, compare it to my savings account balance, and if it's correct, then I know I'm good to go. All right, look at us go. We're moving on to the true budget pages. These would be if you wanted to, for example, use your $500 Christmas budget from your savings envelopes. You would write Christmas and then your $500 here, or same thing over here. It's the same, it's just 3 broken up instead of 1 big one, but I imagine Christmas might need a longer one, so we'll go with this. So you write your 500 and then you deduct every single expense that you make and every purchase that you make. I personally will move my budget to my reloadable debit card and then track that balance as I go. This does require slightly more tracking on your part so that you don't run into your grocery and gas, but if you stay on budget, then that won't even matter because in your brain, they're already apart. This is the 500 for your Christmas, and then whatever else is on there, you know, is for your essentials. Of course, another option would be for you to use your credit card and then pay yourself back for the balance, but be careful that you don't YOLO yourself and decide to binge spend. But I'm not doing anything budget related this month, so I'm going to save these papers for when I do. Which brings us to the fun stuff, the game tracker. So technically, this was created with the hybrid method I was using because I used my cash for my savings challenge. But with a little imagination, I can adapt this to my digitals. If you notice on our envelopes page, I allotted $44 for savings challenges. And I also will be working on a small buffer in that area in case I go over playing savings challenges or I can always IOU to the next week if I go a little over. Now, sure, you could just write savings, take out the word challenges, and be done with it. And there's nothing wrong with that. But for me, playing the savings games gives me that connection to my money that holding cash gives. It makes me feel joyful and excited to save money. So that's where the savings challenges come in. But I am saving this for the next video. I didn't want to make this video super long, and it's already quite a boring subject. So if you've made it this far, I hope that you have found value in this video that will help you set up your own digital budget, or maybe some hybrid method that you would like to try. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more and want to support me, then consider moving into the NeighBEEhood and subscribe. Good luck with your savings adventures. I will see you next time, guys. Bye.